Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dorks Are Dangerous podcast for Chronicle 2, Session 0. Today, I have with me our adventurous players and group. I'm going to go down the line and just have each one of you introduce yourselves and tell just your actual name that as you're playing. So, for example, my name's Bruce. I'm the DM for Chronicle 2.
Oh wait, now I'm number one. See, I don't like this. This was a curveball I wasn't expecting. I'm Jonny. I was your DM for Chronicle 1, and now I will be a player for Chronicle 2.
I guess I'll pick it up next. So I'm Dave Miller. This is my first time in with Dorks Are Dangerous, and I will be playing Lucian.
Hey everybody, this is Kaylie. I'm returning for Chronicle 2, and I am playing Nina.
Hi everyone! Dave doesn't know this, but I'm Kirsten Miller, and I'll be playing Vesper.
Maybe you two are like related somewhere in your family trees.
There are so many Millers.
I have a brother named David Miller.
One Miller to rule them all.
So this is our first sibling duo that we have on Dorks Are Dangerous. So I'm for it.
Who will die first? Spoiler alert.
Right.
Me.
Also, I missed this part. I will be playing the part of Boris Brainbasher.
And don't worry, we'll recap those in a minute. So we're here with, like I said, Chronicle 2. What we do here at Dorks Are Dangerous is that we play Dungeons & Dragons, currently the 5e rule set, utilizing the rule sets therein, the races, the classes, items, etc. But really it's set in a nebulous, dynamic group, this specific group created homebrew world. So each individual here has the opportunity and the knowledge of not just of the homebrew world that we're in, but to add to it and to help us create this world. Also, each chronicle, as we've kind of pointed out and kind of hinted towards already, each chronicle has a different DM or dungeon master, game master, which you prefer, and that's always one of us. And then the rest of the group each play a single character, coupled to that chronicle or story arc. So that kind of describes in brief what we do and what our focus is. The homebrew world does also include our own group and personal races and class creations, however. So we've been looking at a variety of adding a couple different races or subclasses or what have you as part of our homebrew world as well. We play virtually, and therefore we take advantage of such tools that are available to us, such as Roll20, which is what we use for our VTT, and mostly we use D&D Beyond for our character creation, character sheets, and source material.
Not sponsored.
Unless you want to. Then email me, please.
Please.
I'm poor, please.
So we've also recently we were talking offline a bit about it, and we have house rules, but like I said, mostly what we do is we do follow what has been defined by the source material. But every now and then we throw in our own rules, so if they don't quite coincide or are defined by what you might be playing there at home or in your groups, fantastic. Let us know, and maybe we'll incorporate your ideas. DM style. Now, Jonny was our DM for Chronicle 1, and when he and I first discussed our direction on what we were doing with this podcast, we were almost instantly and absolutely on the exact same page, with a few exceptions which we bounced back and forth, debated on, and ironed out rather quickly. We also discovered our view and approach to Dungeons & Dragons was very similar, as we're a bit both old school. So we've been introduced to D&D. When was it, Johnny? A while ago?
Back when I had to walk to school up and down 3 mountains both ways. Yes. Many moons ago.
Exactly. So you'll see differences. Johnny points this out. You'll see differences, and if you love or don't love his style, maybe one of the next DMs in one of the following Chronicles will be more your style. So stick with us, and hopefully we can. Hopefully you'll find something that you enjoy and you love here. My style, I would say that as a DM, and I think most solid, good DMs feel something similar to this. Many people perceive that a DM's role, or at least back in the day, they were the boss. And even today, that kind of stands, right? Where what they say goes. They're the boss, like I said, and they're the owner of the game. I don't view it that way. I see this as a collaborative effort, as a collaborative story, and I like to think the DM as simply another player, but of course with a specific role. And they're simply another storyteller in the group, perhaps with a few extra facets. They're a guide, they're a referee, a rule interpreter, and of course the keeper and the secrets of the mysteries.
Dun, 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 dun.
And yes, that's a little foreshadowing. So, any questions before we move on to, or comments before we move on to our icebreaker questions?
Do you want to mention the Patreon?
Oh no, icebreakers.
I like where David Miller's head's at. Yes,
Right?
like
He got us.
Yes, we do have a Patreon, and if you like what you hear, you can support us at patreon.com/Dorks Are Dangerous. And I think there's 4 different tiers, anywhere from $1 to $20. Each one will unlock different things that you will have access to. And every dollar that you donate to us will go to making this podcast better. We'll get better equipment, better microphones, better editing. We want to make this something enjoyable for all of you and the most professional thing that we can do. Also, there is Instagram and Facebook. If you give us a like, give us a follow, we do updates there, and we will feature artwork that you want to do for our characters in our Instagram.
And Kaylee's really hip with that TikTok, kids.
I wouldn't call it hip. More like a broken hip, but sure.
And yeah, there is TikTok. Kaylee is the mistress of our TikTok. She has put out incredible, super fun work. So definitely check us out there too.
Almost crying over here with the whole hip. Oh man, good stuff. All right, anything else? All right, icebreaker questions. So this gives us an opportunity for you to maybe connect with, or to hopefully appreciate and understand the players that are playing with us for Chronicle 2. So I'm going to go down the line, and I'll call you out. I'll try and mix up the order. I've got 3 different icebreaker questions. So, and there's no real right answer. It's just how you're feeling in the moment. First question. I'm going to start with you, Kaylee.
Of course you are. For those at home, I was typing furiously in our Discord chat, not it. Goes.
But this will be easy.
Okay.
I promise the first one is super easy. So, what were your favorite and your least favorite subjects in high school?
Math, 100% was my least favorite. I've grown to like it more as an adult because I actually found classes that helped me understand it, but math made me... I'm pretty sure I got gray hairs in high school because of it. My favorite subjects actually were writing and history.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
And... oh, go ahead.
Nope, that's it.
No problem. Dave, same question.
So actually, the complete opposite of Kaylee. Math was always my favorite thing. I actually have a tattoo of math formula on the inside of my right arm. I was super into math all through high school and after, and history was my least favorite subject. I have a awful memory, so anything involving dates and such was just not my jam.
What does the tattoo look like? I'm curious.
It's the Taylor series, so it's Taylor. Easy enough to you can Google it.
Okay.
Very cool.
Or if you take a picture, we'll put it up
I
on
was
our
gonna
Instagram.
say.
Or I could take a picture and put it anywhere you guys would like.
Nice.
Perfect.
If you didn't want to share it, that was cool, but yeah,
I'd love to see it.
same. Johnny, same question.
Science was my least favorite. That was a pretty easy answer. And social studies, history, I think I always enjoyed the most.
Awesome. And Kirsty.
Oh, we can talk about this all day. So, I passed trigonometry my senior year by looking at my teacher and saying, "Please, God, get me out of here." To which he passed me. Don't know how I made it through. I'm not a very good math person, and I failed chemistry and had to retake it. And I barely skimmed through biology. But my senior year, I was on the newspaper of my school and in creative writing class, loved my English class, and was in AP history. Ask me anything about math or sciences and I will vomit all over the place. And as for tattoos, I don't have a formula on my arm. Instead, I have a broken bone with gears and wires and a shock absorber through ripped skin. I don't know what that says about me, but it does say she somehow passed trigonometry.
I have a cartoon giraffe behind my ear.
And that says a lot about Kaylee, too.
You do have a D20 tattoo. I'm not
We don't
just gonna
talk
throw
about that.
out there, but you have a D20 tattoo. Nerd.
I do. But it
Hey,
says
that's
D20. No, it's D20 in history, like fancy script, like manuscripts. Yeah. Anyway, I got it
I
for
love
$20 in Expo.
Very cool.
What about
for
you,
me,
Bruce?
thank you. For me, I would say, man, I mean, if I could, there were a few classes that I liked. I suppose my favorite, though, was probably science. Exact opposite of Johnny. And my least favorite was social studies and history.
You're the worst.
I'm shocked and appalled.
I'm just horrible at it. I loved all the musical stuff too, the band, choir, all that stuff, art. I loved all that, but yeah, I was just horrible at social economics. At econ, it was horrible.
Yeah,
Oh, I
I
hate
can't
econ
really
too.
handle my debts either.
Ugh.
Sorry.
All right. So it seems to me like one of our icebreaker questions, maybe for the future, would be: do you have any ink? And what is it? Are you willing to share that type of thing? So anyway, not today, but somebody else can use that one if they'd like. Icebreaker question number 2. What's the last movie you watched and rate it out of 10? 10 being the highest. Let's go with Dave.
It's been so long. I want to say Jojo Rabbit. I think was actually the last movie I saw, which it was actually for like a online hangout kind of thing that I recommended we watch it. So I'd go pretty high. I'd say probably about 9. If you haven't seen it, you should. A lot of good satire in it.
I've been wanting to watch it. I just forgot about it until you mentioned it now. So thank you for bringing that back up. I will definitely check it out again.
Agreed. Johnny.
Now I'm thinking what the last movie I watched was. The last movie I watched was Prey.
Ooh.
I would give that a solid 7.5, almost 8. Really liked it. Of course, who doesn't like The Predator? And I really enjoy the Native American, aspect of the movie. The knife fighting scene was super high on. I didn't care for the Mortal Kombat style Predator going off at one point, but I can see that was a montage or an homage to putting him in the Mortal Kombat series. So yeah, I'd give it a 7.5, 8 if I'm feeling generous that day.
Oh yeah, I remember the Mortal Kombat. Now you know what you're talking about. Yeah. All right. How about you, Kirsty?
This is gonna sound boring, but I watched Persuasion on Netflix, and if anyone knows what that is, it is actually the last published book of Jane Austen before she died. The book that was published after her death is Sanditon, to which they have done a series. But Persuasion is actually my absolute favorite book, so to see it come once again, because it's not the first time they did this, to the screen. Netflix did a more satire, flourishing, not quite modernized because it's still set in a historical era, but a feel to even the younger generation. I enjoyed it. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I know diehard J Knights of America, which is a thing, and it's not like I'm a part of that group or anything, or paid to join. Who would do that? I enjoyed it, and I don't care what anyone says, it was good. Oh, and Dakota Johnson nailed it.
Adding that to my list to watch.
Excellent. Kaylee.
So I'm a little bummed that this is my answer, but the last movie I saw was Bodies, 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 because I like a good horror movie. This was not a good horror movie. The ending did save the movie for me because it was funny and it made sense. I would give that movie a 6 on a good day for me, but yeah, it's for those who don't know, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies was basically a bunch of people go to a house, play a game, and murder start happening, and they're trying to figure out who did it. So.
Oh, so Clue.
Basically, except a low budget version of it.
Got it.
For our audience, don't see that don't see it in public or in theaters. Just save your money.
And Bruce, what's yours?
Oh, does Bruce know he's muted?
So I would have to. Mine's easy. We just watched Maverick, Top Gun 2.
Great movie. I really like that movie.
I haven't seen it. No spoilers.
No spoilers. I give it. I mean, I was a huge fan of the original. I have to give it a solid 8.5, maybe even a 9. It was good.
I thoroughly enjoyed that movie.
I shall be watching it then.
I will say I did rail on it for the motorcycle scenes because no woman in her right mind is riding a motorcycle with her hair down. That's my only rant about the movie. I would not shove about it. If you watch it, ladies out there, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Realistic. All right. Final question. Now, this one actually may be easy, probably is really easy as well. Kind of gives a little insight, I think, into each individual, for sure. In D&D, any version, but preferably 5e, what is your go-to D&D character, race, and class? Jonny.
So, I guess it really changed by edition. But by default, my go-to is usually... Man, it's changed over the years. Now it's Human Wizard, but at one point it was definitely Elven Rogue.
Human Wizard, Elven Rogue. Yeah, I can see that.
Human Wizard because I'm smarter than everyone, obviously. So that's why that's now my go-to in the current day. So
we're all gonna bury his character's body, right? In this campaign, we're just gonna.
Yep.
I was going to ask you why did you choose? Why do you choose that? Is it the way it plays out? Do you like the complexities of it? Is it easy for you? Why do you like it? The spell list? What?
You get to be a Swiss Army knife. It's a very utility character in most cases. So I get bored easy. So having the wizard figuring out what spell list I need for today, trying to anticipate what's coming, and how to prepare for that for everyone's best interest is the fun part of that for me. On the flip side, I also like to hamstring myself sometimes, so I try to make the most worthless wizard I can, and then make that work. So, it all depends on the Chronicle, who the other players are, if I know that they can pick up the slack, if I'm holding them back, well, not really holding them back, but leading to a good story to being told. I do it that way too. But for the most part, as of late, it's, you played with Aesop, who was the character I was played when I first met Bruce. And it was just the utility that needed to be done to get everyone past our challenges.
Yep. Understandable.
And
Kirsty.
Go ahead. And Rogue could like to be sneaky and I like to backstab people.
Yeah, right. Kirsty, same question. What is your go-to D&D character and race and class?
I haven't had many to play, and I have been trying to branch out and play new ones. But for me, that sounds weird. I know people rag on them, but I typically play an arcane cleric. I prefer the variant human over the wood elf that I've played before, but I will tell you why I like an arcane cleric, because it has been traditionally named the Swiss Army knife class for a cleric. You're not quite a battle cleric, you're not quite a life cleric. You can flip on a dime if you have to. To be able to do, have those two wizard cantrips and cast them with your, with your cleric ability, that really firebolt all the time. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I enjoy it because I can twist and turn it when I need to. If I'm playing and the strategy is oh god, someone's down, well cool, they can stay down for a while because I'm gonna kill this guy. And I can do that as an arcane cleric.
Yep, I can appreciate that. Kaylie.
So I have not had a lot of experience as a player, so I don't really have a favorite race and class per se. However, I will say that I like to think of characters that don't feel like they would work. So you guys have probably heard in the past, I really want to one day play a Goliath rogue. That just sounds like a really fun mix-up for me. But overall, I will say I'm probably most comfortable with fighters. I've gotten to play them twice. I'm currently playing one in a casual game. And right now, I think a human race would be the one I'd be most comfortable with. Personally.
Yeah, that's cool. I can get behind that. It's, sometimes you just need to be able to just smash things.
Exactly.
Dave.
So for me, my usual go-to is human sorcerer, which sounds kind of basic, but definitely having the meta magic abilities and some of those real chaos spells can be really helpful. Mostly it's because I don't enjoy long combat, so it's helpful to kind of get in and be all right, here's my couple AoEs, couple really strong spells, and okay, I did my bit. And either the fight's over or the fight's gonna be over for me because I'm gonna get squished.
Yep.
So it's so that's my usual go-to.
Yeah, I can see that. I absolutely love the sorcerer class. It's absolutely one of my favorite classes, and if I had more than one go-to, I would pick that. I agree. It's such a fun class. For me, my go-to is probably simply a mountain dwarf tempest cleric. I'm of a similar mind as you, Kurt. You know what? Do you really need a heal? No? Alright, because I'm going to DPS the crap out of this guy.
And it's always a good feeling when you actually roll and it hits.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Well, excellent. Hopefully that has given a little bit of insight, not just to each of you, but any listeners that we may have today. That's it for our icebreaker questions. So, as I said before, we play in a homebrew world. And this homebrew world, Jonny came up with this wonderful description. And since my setting is in the same homebrew world as I believe all of ours will be, I am going to recap what he read, because you may or may not have been with us for Chronicle 1. So I'm going to read most, but not all of what he has come up with as a description. And hopefully you can visualize what we're talking about. For some, the Neo Kingdom gave people an opportunity that didn't come around often. A chance to find fame and fortune in an uncharted land. The idea that a low-born son of a farmer could become a noble without political or social hindrances roadblocking him became very enticing. A young empire that was founded on the outskirts of civilization, with the ability to expand until it reached the sea, soon became less of a dream and more of a nightmare. The promises of riches and the chance for a new beginning drew good people to the land, and even more people to less than moral standing. Criminals from across the land found new sanctuary within the borders of the Neo Kingdom. Cat purses and cutthroats alike escaped the law and set up a new criminal syndicate in every city, town, and hamlet before true law could be established. Those escaping religious persecution also found the Neo Kingdom appealing. Cultists and worshippers of dark lords became more brazen, setting up temples to their malicious deities in new villages that rose almost overnight. Sorry, I was caught up in a moment in just thinking of Chronicle 1 in how the cultists were such a key element in what was happening. Finally, the Neo Kingdom has proven to be a rough life for many. For those brave enough, however, it has become an endless source of adventure. And the aforementioned farmer's son may not have found a noble title, but with some skill and fortune, he may have found himself in the center of stories that will live on forever. That sets the scape for what we play in and what we do. That is also posted. Jonny, that should be something that we post in our Patreon server as well, if we haven't.
We will get to that within the next 24 hours. I wrote some good shit there. I was pretty impressed with that. I liked it better with you reading it.
Good. So I hope you get the feel, the excitement of what it is that we do and why we do it. This expansive world that we're creating every time we play is just it's part of the passion of what we do. Now, any questions before I move on?
Nah, just a comment. Those cultists hit hard. They smacked the hell out of Kree in Chronicle 1. Go watch it.
They did. All right. Now move on to the opening for Chronicle 2. Today's adventure, I'm going to start that again. We'll edit that out. 3, 2. Today, I did it again.
Sorry.
You can laugh. I'm taking a moment.
Do your
Today,
voice exercises.
there we go. 3, 2. Today's adventure begins at noon, with all eyes set upon the bustling city of Blue Moor. And that's all I can give you, because if I continue with it, it's spoilers.
Such a doofus.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
That's all I can.
It's noon,
Thanks for
everyone,
giving us
in
a
the
zero.
city.
I literally can't give you any more of the description.
You had to pause twice just to get the name out.
Oh man, right? Ugh, some days.
Oh, Miller called you out. I love
Yeah,
it.
he did.
Yeah, I think we should leave. We should leave that in now,
Yeah,
just because.
we're leaving it in now.
I believe that Johnny pointed out, do you really want to goad the DM?
Yeah.
Do you really want to go there? He
Rock
pointed that out in
Small Heart
Chronicle
Guys.
1.
It's true.
I ain't scared.
Oh, Miller, do you have a backup character? You might need a backup character.
I'll be writing one tonight before session 1. Just because
You know how easy it is to die here, Dave.
Oh, yes.
you all know what's going to go on. Human sorcerer. I'm already ready to go.
There we go. There we go. Go-to
There better
character.
be a revive in this campaign, or I'm out.
Oh, good stuff. All right. So now that we've kind of gone through the whole thing and we've hinted and talked a little bit towards the play, the adventure, a very little about how the adventure begins at noon. Now we're going to talk just briefly about character. So if you would, and you can choose to jump in whatever you want. So the things that I'm looking for here are simply your player's first name. So in other words, you, right? So for me, it would be Bruce, right? So your player first name, your character name, and a simple visual description. Just very brief, not in depth, just a very what someone might see at a quick glance. Anyone?
I'll go ahead and jump in. So, player name is Dave. I will be playing Lucian. Lucian is basically what Lucian's going to look like to the passerby. He's a rather tall fellow, seeing as he's a Goliath. So he's got slightly pale blue skin, kind of a little bit of grayish, eyes to match. Longer hair, black in a man bun. About 7'6", probably about 300 pounds, give or take. Wears a nice set of shiny chainmail or chain armor, and I think that's it for Lucian.
Perfect.
I think Kirsten should go next, since she's the other new one.
Ah, I like it.
Get in there, newbie.
Initiation.
Okay, so I'm Kirsten, everyone, and I am going to be playing Vesper Valdier. I'm going to actually take this in a different direction. I'm not going to describe to you what her hair color is, or her eyes, or her skin, and I'm not going to say she is the most beautiful creature that walks by. When she walks into a room, all eyes usually do turn on Vesper. She is like walking aphrodisiac to people, a pheromone that they can't help but look at. And even in the worst situations where jealousy arises from people and they look at her with disdain, they can't help but be drawn to her. She's not uniquely beautiful as much as she's just a unique being to each individual person that see her. It's just the charm, it's the charisma, it's just who she is and basically everything she's ever has been. You look at her and you don't forget her, but at the same time, she's not anyone that can be described.
All right.
Well,
That was
that was cool. I was going to say, unlike Vesper, my name is Kaylie and I play Nina. And like I said, unlike Vesper, Nina is someone who tries to keep out of the spotlight. She is of a gentle green, olive tone of skin, a slender form with delicate pointed ears. She is very meek, very quiet, always a gentle smile on her face and a welcoming glint to her purple eyes. She does not have flashy clothes. The most ornate thing she owns is the cloak that wears upon her shoulders, and it is of an owlbear's head and cowl. If you ask her for help, she will willingly give it in any way that she can. If you were to speak to her, she speaks in a gentler, soft tone, and where she would otherwise choose not to speak at all.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
That's quite a bit to be able to take in on a first glance. I love it.
Like, I wanted my character to be a badass, but you're like, I walk around with an owlbear cloak of this owlbear I skinned and killed. Well, you win. I guess I'm going to be a beta to you in this one.
To be fair, it is part of her subclass, and you will find that out later.
All right, fair. But you still walk around with an owlbear hoodie, and that's terrifying.
Owl bear hoodie. That's got to be a thing. We've got to make that a thing for real.
Whenever you guys get merch.
That's merch one, owlbear hoodie. Copyright it now.
Done.
TM.
All right, so I am playing Boris. He is probably about 6 feet tall. The sides of his head are shaved, the middle of his head shaved, and a skullet. His hair goes kind of long into 2 separate mohawks. The skullet is what Mr. T had back in the day, for those of you that know. Pretty heavily tattooed, pretty heavily scarred. He looks like trouble because he is trouble. He has, and I know we talked about keeping the secret, but I gotta do it. He has a hangman's noose tattoo around his neck, signaling his group affiliation with a mercenary organization called the Gallow Men. And he is one of their street soldiers, one of their goons, for all intents and purposes.
Wait a minute. Are you saying he's a gabagool?
He's a gabagool. So he has a lot of tattoos, a lot of scars. His nose looks like it's probably been broken on more than a few occasions. And he seems to have a chip on his shoulder. Just a bad aura around him when he walks into the room.
Nice. Those are the types of things that me personally as a player, I love to hear and I love to listen to. What do I see? So often we miss that. And we're going to do this again in session 1 to give you the opportunity to do this again. But Dave, I know yours, I called it out and you stuck very well to the just simple visual description. If there's anything else you want to add right now, because like I said, we're going to recap this. Feel free to tweak it. We're still in process. I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying, giving you opportunity.
No, it's fair. Y'all were amazing. I have to step up my game a little bit.
We overdo it all the time.
No. And I will explain it like this. This is session 0. I can explain things. Whenever I'm asked, you can ask Jonny, my Tally. Describe what Tally is. She's a wood elf. She's about 5'6". She has this blonde hair. She's not that pretty, but she's not pretty. And she has golden skin and golden eyes. I have repeated it over and over and over again. And it just so happens that this current character has a high charisma score. And I understand that charisma doesn't always mean attractive, but just for the sense and purposes of it, you can either be intimidating or you can be charming or both. And either one, you're going to have to appeal. So I wanted to present her in a way where it doesn't matter who looks at her. She's appealing to everyone. But I can't put a skin tone and a hair color and an eye on her, which she'll have. I'm not going to say like it's definite and that's the first thing you notice because you don't.
I got you. Yeah, I don't mean that as like, I would say, yeah, you guys did really, really awesome, really good descriptions. So, no, I thought it was great.
Since I wasn't actually allowed to describe most of her, I had to ad-lib a bit. I was like, okay.
We do that. we do that. And then we listen to things later, or we write notes to ourselves. Oh shit, I said that. I got to remember to write that in my character sheet.
I have an owlbear hoodie. Okay.
That's badass. I love it.
It's terrifying.
I'm gonna be terrified too. It's an owlbear.
And the Gala Men, for those of you listening home, is we started a Monday game, and one of our players, Kaylie, had come up with this mercenary group called the Gala Men, and I'm like, that's kind of cool. And then when I needed to figure out a character for Bruce's game, I had a bunch of ideas thrown around, and then I'm like, no, I think I just want to do a fighter, and I want to make him a member of the Gala Men. I want to explore this aspect of the world that we've teased on our personal game and flesh it out for everyone else. And I thought it was a cool idea. I think it was a cool concept. And hopefully I do them and your idea justice. Or injustice, one of the two. I'm going to sleep fine either way.
You're so welcome.
Excellent. Anything else anybody wants to add before we move on? All right. This comes into kind of the first bit of real player character development, really. And that is character association. We're not about, hey, you meet in a tavern. You may start the adventure in a tavern, but that's not how you guys know each other. So this is where you, as players, get to define how, because you're an established group, how do you know each other? This is for the four of you to decide.
Well, from what
I
we
know
talked
yours.
about,
Johnny, yours.
they're an established
I'll
group.
change that to the three of you, and Johnny gets
Okay.
added.
Oh, you get special. Okay, just kidding. Well, so my character, without going too far into her background, is kind of the, for lack of a better word, a local witch doctor sort of thing. So she goes to different establishments that she's like worked with in the past and tries to help them with healing or with medicines of that nature. So she's worked in brothels, she's worked in with store shops to provide herbs and necessary things out in the woods. She's just very quiet. So if you go to talk to her and she doesn't know you, she's just shy. So do you guys frequent any brothels? Do you go to any, like, the local taverns all the time?
Actually,
No? Oh!
playing into that, I am not going to go into too far as to why my character would have been there, because that will be established throughout gameplay. But we'll run with your character finds my character in a brothel against her will, being prepared to be auctioned off. So your character will ferry my character out, since they, you come in and you probably help the girls of whatever they need to do. You know the ins and outs. You get Vesper out, and Vesper becomes indebted to you, and you can't shake her.
I love that. So, because one of my NPCs, which, Bruce, stop me now, you know which one I'm probably talking about. I have an NPC who actually is a brothel owner, who kind of is like, she does have people under her employment for this purpose, but it's not against their will. It's very much, you are here because you want to be here, and you're employed in a safe space. I make sure it's safe for you. So she probably could have used this NPC to help get Vesper out and give her temporary refuge under this person.
So funny that we all have brothel owners, don't we, Johnny?
Something like that. And I was going to say, even though I'm not with you, you probably know my character from being in the brothels before. The dirty ones. Because
In fact, Johnny, we could even say that that's how the things happened.
yeah, definitely.
Now, Miller.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with this one. I'm just thinking, like, 'cause, okay.
Yeah,
so-
biased paladin guy.
So Lucian is definitely, I think, the I kind of picture him as being very bookish, the kind of individual who would turn just beet red, going, he just like looking over in the direction of a brothel.
I have your answer if you want it.
I don't want him to be too stuck up, but I could see him being convinced to go into one to, like, check it out.
How
then
about
don't
not convinced? How about forced?
Ooh,
Or trick.
Okay, bear
Or
with me.
trick, yeah.
Bear with me.
Yeah, I'm listening.
We'll go. We're just gonna center this around Vesper because it makes it easier. She was sent
Agreed.
to that brothel by the convent she was raised in.
Ooh.
Because what they do is they take orphans, and depending on if they can get things done with them, most of them are either basically raised to just be sold off to brothels, especially the pretty ones. So what if that convent didn't want her to go to a certain brothel? They accidentally sent her there, and they had something else, so they sent you off to go find her. So you're forced to go into these brothels and go look for her, and you come across, and you're stuck too. Like you get pulled into it, and you're like, you don't go into these brothels, but you're forced to, and you're following the will of a lawful religious place that you maybe don't know dives into the dirty.
That could be one of your flaws, that now you like to go to brothels.
Guilty pleasure.
Play perfect.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Play with it.
Yeah, I can definitely play
You
with
don't
it.
have to. I just thought I was like, oh, I'm already in a brothel. This works out.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see there's some interchanging ideas there for sure.
Oh.
Yeah, I like it as a start. I like
that idea with you like getting forced in. So Nina knows giant, which I believe Goliath speak giant, if I'm correct. Okay, good. So while you're in there and she's like doing her rounds, because this would be like a brothel she frequents quite a bit to make sure the girls are healthy and like probably trying to figure out how to get them out or put this person out of business that owns the brothel.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can assume we probably like see Vesper or a bunch of girls that are like in pretty poor condition, and she sees Lucian and just kind of saunters up to him quietly, like, oh, like thinking, oh, you like pretending to be like, oh, you must be hurt. Let me check you out. Are you okay? Because you look nervous and probably sick to your stomach, and mutters under your breath, like, hey, how about we do something about this? And Giant be like, see if she can convince you to help her burn down the building or something. I don't know.
So actually, on that thinking, as I'm thinking about it, so Lucian is also not a smart boy.
Okay.
That is not his strength. I very much could see him being sent along or trying to find, Vesper and looking around for Vesper, and just being completely like, I imagine a lot of like that deep dark stuff in a brothel would be like in the back room, like that's not they're not parading people around in collars and beat up on the front of the street. I could see him just very easily like walking in and just being completely oblivious to the evils that are going on, as he's kind of looking around for Vesper. So I mean, would that make sense that Nina would be like, oh hey, you're not someone who would be doing these bad things? Maybe, yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe you could help us. And then, burn down the building, per se. Maybe he doesn't burn it down on purpose. Maybe he just, gets really nervous and accidentally knocks over a candlestick onto some, linens. And next thing you know, there's a fire in the back room.
Or there's or there's a guiding bolt spell underneath the candle and it falls down. I'm like, oh no, candle fire! Whoops!
Oh no!
Y'all are gonna you're gonna all find out about Nina real quick. So
yeah, right.
That
Dave,
put
remember
them in
one
place,
thing. Remember one thing. Everybody, back in the day played paladins the exact same way. Pious, very righteous, self-righteous, the whole thing. You do not have to follow that template.
but if you want to, do it.
Do it if you want to, but do feel free to play it how you would see it. I mean,
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Has the team Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Not the new one. Who was in young?
Oh, that guy!
Remember how naive he was and rigid and he sent him up to the prophet?
yes, exactly. And it's his mission to please everyone. All kinds of experience.
the whole lawful good, morally upright time, like that's exhausting. So yeah, I'm looking at more of a good, but like say, and not really, you know, he's not perfect. He's not perfect. Just like, we're really looking at this for a good cause. He'd be like, oh yeah, force donations, you know, like, force donations.
You trick him. You trick him. No, this is what they need. They have to have this to survive.
So I don't have a great persuasion, so if I need to help, that's where I can. So
No,
Dave, that's
I have a plus
fantastic.
2. I have a
Okay,
plus
I got
2
a
to
plus
mine.
6. I got a plus 6. I'm all about emotional manipulation of the paladin.
Dave, I love it. That's a great.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
down for it. I'm
good,
down
Dave.
for it. I'm
So now
down
that
for
I-
it. 100%.
Perfect. Side note, now that I know what's going on with Johnny's character, I'm a little terrified as to why he's not part of this. I'm a little concerned. Like, do I need to throw in some more, like, damaging spells in my character
It'll be
list?
fine.
Got
So
it.
I mean, if that's how they all know each other, other than his character, would it just be like we can start off like? Do we say that this stuff happened already, and they just
Yeah.
kind of they've been hanging out for the last 2 days? Like maybe Vesper just has convinced Dave's character not to turn her in or bring her back anywhere, and now that she's just chilling with Nima, and they're all together.
So this is the probable person that would have like tried to probably help a little bit to guide Vesper. I'm gonna put it in the chat real quick. It is her name is Granny, but it's Madame Superior Kelly. She's half elf. That looks way too
It's funny that you named her Madame Superior. Fuck you. Sorry for cursing. Vesper's from a convent. That's beautiful. That's
I love
this
that.
is writing.
So, real quick,
It's her occupation. So there you go. Occupation is the high priestess of the Sinful Sisters. So
Did you say?
so Kirsty, I think you had something?
No, Bruce said something about my name.
Maybe.
I was going to say, and of course, after that, the full opening scene that I read to you guys in session 1, you can create this story right then and there. So that'll be fun for you guys.
Good. Okay. Madam Superior.
she's a good spirit.
Oh God.
But yeah, she's the high priestess of the Sinful Sisters of Sexual Succulence. And she's very playful and does not know boundaries. She has no boundaries.
That's great.
Jesus Christ, alliteration.
Yeah, right. I'm guessing that Lucian has contributed in some way to the madam.
Oh,
You have absolutely no idea that she's a madam. She'd be like, "Oh, Madam Superior. I've never heard of that
course.
before. It's very exciting."
Oh my God! It would make so much sense that you would stay with Vesper and go along with it if you're convinced that the Madam Superior is like from the convent that like got you to meet her in.
I can see.
Honestly, if someone just like saw him walking through town and was like, "Oh, you should go see Madam Superior," he'd be like, "Oh, there's a Madam Superior. Oh, wonderful. Where's the temple? Oh, back
Perfect.
here in this alley. That's
Perfect.
interesting."
And she is a
So-
high priestess.
So, excuse me. I'm in the neighborhood and I'm looking for this, describes Vesper, individual. Could you suggest maybe where I might find some? Yeah, did you check Madame Superior? Oh,
I'm
man.
sorry, it's such a gag. Oh, that's beautiful.
Well, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
You're welcome. I love this. Is an NPC I've wanted to have for so long.
So you guys do feel free to DM each other back and forth with some of those details if you want, flesh that out, throw
okay.
some ideas, and in the end, Dave, do grasp it and take it and make it your own.
I love
As
it, Dave.
all
Though.
you should. All
You
right.
hear anything about Johnny, or is that all going to stay under the table for now?
No, I think it's all going to stay under the table. He knows you. He knows you less. So you know how Creed and Core knew each other better prior to meeting Nawada, and then so it's kind of in a similar light.
Okay.
For teasing aspects, for everyone listening, I'm going to tell Jonny a piece of information that no one here knows except Jonny. Jonny, this character of Vesper is the original and inspiration baby of a character you currently use as an NPC in most of your campaigns. And I think you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, I definitely know what you're talking about.
So this is before she ever becomes her.
I'm for it.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Good times.
Good
We'll
times.
figure that out later.
Are you guys getting excited for this campaign?
Yes.
This sounds awesome.
We get to start we bonded over a brothel. And to keep the alliteration up, can we go from a brothel to a bakery? So just a bond over bread.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you visit the bakery and then go to the brothel?
There you go.
That's double the treats.
I was about to say
and-
dinner and then dessert.
So we left the bakery to visit the brothel with a basket of bonbons.
So I will say this, for my connection to you guys at least. Well, probably not for Lucian, since Lucian is a boy and new to town and looking for someone. Or it's definitely frequent brothels. Definitely has been kicked out of brothels for not being a good patron. So you probably don't have to hold him in high regard. Even if you haven't met him, you've probably heard about him, and I would say that, definitely took care of some problems that he caused.
I'm more like that.
How about this? On every brothel inside the door, is a picture of Boris. Do not allow him.
And then sometimes I show up with more money and know where I got it from. So, like, our movies
I was gonna say, I've seen she's not super, overly confrontational. He would just be kind of says is body type, but she's too small. She's not able to buy it physically, right? But it's you see kind of crack around her eyes and her hands, I'm very constantly asking you to fuck off or this will So you're going to see a very sad, disappointed mother that's I have to
again.
Yeah, and because of her backstory, which you guys may see later, she would definitely not like Boris, at least not right away, and she'd just be like, you're that person.
Right, yeah, he's scum of the earth.
I will tell you now, expect my character to just be very kind and very just as naive as I guess Dave's character, but maybe not as easily tricked as much as
Y'all are gonna force Nina to be the mom of this group with her wisdom score?
Hell no. Hell no.
even the
I'm kidding,
ugliest
I'm
of
kidding.
brutes.
I was gonna say, I feel like Lucian would be like, this could go either one of two ways. Of either he knows Boris is not great news, or he's like, "Are you Boris?" Boris would be like, "Nah." He'd be like, "Oh, you look just like the dude. That's really cool." Huh.
Well,
That picture looks
like
just
whatever way
like
you want to go
though.
with that. Yeah.
well, much like Lucian, Boris isn't a smart boy either. Can I fight it? Can I fuck it? Can I drink it? Those are the only three things that register.
Right.
Okay, so on that note, I feel like Boris and Lucian could be great friends.
I think they will be great friends eventually, but I think they're probably going to start out hating each other.
Maybe Dave, maybe your character is charged with personally he's taken this on as one of his righteous goals, to play a little bit into your character story, is that you're trying to save or trying to convert or trying to, something of Boris's character. Find the good in his soul.
Oh my god.
So actually, on that front, so there are some things I need to talk to you about, Bruce, outside of the group, character-wise and patron-wise.
Perfect.
that are going to be. So you kind of talk about non-traditional paladin. I was bouncing around a few different ideas. I suspect that Lucian's going to be very confused about his, like, what is evangelizing, what is that. He might not be very good at that.
Yeah, no, that works. Being not good at that is awesome play.
Oh, this is
We
gonna be
can
so
go
sad.
offline
You're
with
trying to persuade people, and they're just gonna be like, "Nah, man, no."
Failed persuasion rolls left and right.
But that's okay. That's why you have Vesper there. She's gonna come up right behind you and give you like the inspiration. She'll be persuading them alongside you. Like I have, let's be real here.
It'll play well.
A lot of deception and a lot of persuasion. So,
All right.
how much do you want me to lie for your church?
I'm gonna stop us. Because we have gone way deeper than that.
Gone
Than simple. But it's awesome. So we're gonna keep this. We're gonna keep rolling with that. Those are fantastic. Do shoot some messages back and forth. Finalize out the simplistic view of, like, you've already called it out. They've met in brothels. They have some driving factors for each of you, between each of you. So have fun with that. But I'm going to cut us off there because otherwise we're getting deep into way too much stuff that easily could go into session 1. Anything else anyone wants to add that's not in that depth? All right. Are we good? Okay. So, simple reminder. Please, if you get the chance, remember to have 2 or 3 contacts and the goals that were described in the character creation process, so that we have stuff to draw on. I have stuff to draw on from a DM's perspective, and so that we can kind of make things come out and play in the story. Other than that, I think that's character and character associations. Are there any other questions or comments, just in general? Otherwise, we're going to head into the wrap-up of Session 0.
Yeah, nothing that can't just be talked about privately for me, at least.
Yeah.
You had a question about one of the rules, and that's perfectly fine if you want to bring it up now.
Oh, you're sure? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I had a question about, some DMs are different. Like, I have Hex. It's a first level spell. It's for a warlock, but I'm a magic initiative, so I chose it. And it says, it's verbal, so, somatic, and there is material, and it's like the petrified eye of a newt. With a first level spell like that, as a DM, do you require that component, the material component?
So, Jonny, go ahead and step in on this and see to adjust. But part of what we do definitely is your arcane focus can take the place of a lot of your material components. Also, it's assumed that spellcasters have component pouches on them for specifically for those low-level spells. So you can we can work through that kind of concept of, and I make sure that I have my spell components up to date. I'm not going to worry about a lot of that stuff because I feel that it can get bogged down. It's kind of that, yeah, we go shopping, I get some stuff. Cool. Let's pay for it, whatever's in the rule set, and go for it. Otherwise, if it's something more specific like maybe Revivify or Resurrection later on, if that were to happen way down the road, those types of things, that diamonds and so much silver dust, that type of stuff could be something that we would work with. But other than that, I don't think I'd really stress it too much. Jonny?
No, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
You're assumed to have all the things that you need when you start off. And 5th edition fortunately makes things easy because you usually have an arcane focus of some sort.
Just do that.
Being a spellcaster, being a bard, I think your arcane focus can just be your musical instrument or what have you.
Okay.
Question
Okay,
then, 'cause
good.
I actually have a similar question to hers.
Yeah.
So for my subclass for those at home, it's a druid. The owl, bear, head, and cowl is the focus. Would you accept that? That's what it says in the book for this class, but if I need to choose something else, like it says like a mistletoe or a holly, I can do that.
No, if that's what you decide you want. Just realize that if you
lose that, or if it gets destroyed, or whatever, that's that, the challenge. You might have to choose temporarily, at least, a different arcane focus or whatever. I don't foresee that happening, but you never know.
Yeah, but
Morris in the group, I think anything's possible.
true. There is it says that for this class I can spend time to remake my focus, but I need the components. So if that happens, then I figure it out. So
Yeah, that's cool. Any questions, comments, concerns? I think you can keep yourself.
I think we just need to get to know Kirsty and David a little bit better.
oh god.
Yeah, so if there's something that you guys want to, nothing, it doesn't have to be anything personal, but if you'd like to, maybe talk a bit about why you're with us or anything else, what do you think, Johnny?
Whatever you feel like telling, but just so people at home can get to know you guys a little bit better, and maybe you guys can bond on a different level, maybe with interest, or, like David has an awesome math tattoo. I'm sure someone's going to ask you listening and to have something similar, so whatever you want to share, whatever you feel like sharing.
Dave, I'll take lead on this one. I'm gonna let you sit there for a little bit. I'll just talk about myself, which is easy to do because I always talk about myself. I actually really love true crime. I like true crime podcasts. When it comes to writing, if I had to sit down and write anything, surprisingly, you may think fantasy would be what I write, but I don't. I actually have written in the past and still do write horror flash fiction. Flash fiction typically is like a story that can be anywhere between 5 to 8 pages, and it doesn't necessarily have a beginning. You usually kind of just start in the middle sometimes, and you give it an end, or is it? It's very gory, it's very dark, and it's very horror, which are, funnily enough, things I can read, but things I can't watch without a friend. My favorite thing to do is create characters. I would rather sit here all day long and create a backstory and characters all day and just throw them out for people to play. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love coffee. I talk too loud. And I hope you guys really get to enjoy us.
Love coffee and I talk too loud. That was fabulous.
Can confirm.
I wish to read your horror books, so please send them my way. I'm a great
Alright.
editor.
I can read them to you.
Ooh, there you go.
One of the things I was thinking about was like pets and kids. Is that I don't know where anybody sits as far as pets and kids.
Oh, Dave!
No. Well, I have too many pets and no kids, so.
I have no kids and an awesome dog. And I prefer pets to kids all day long.
I have a 5-year. Well, she will be 5 in the next couple of weeks. I have a 5-year-old daughter, aka Demon, who honestly, within the next 2 years, will start playing Dungeons and Dragons with us.
Ooh.
I have 2 cats, Atlas and Mercury, and I typically feed outdoor animals as well because I am a sap for the furries. Not furries, but the fur babies. I had to put something on that, maybe not furries, but if you're a furry and you like this podcast, please do not be offended by who I am. Thank you.
Good save. So I guess I should elaborate real quick on my household of animals. So in this house, there are 4 cats and 1 dog. 2 cats are mine. That is Zelda and Buster Brown. And my dog is a Labradoodle named Chewy Baka, and he will be 2 at the end of September.
It's very cute. Are we missing somebody? Bruce, Johnny?
Bruce and you.
Yeah, you, Dave,
Bruce,
and
why don't
then
you go?
Bruce.
Oh,
Okay, fine.
I
Well-
have all the kids and I have all the pets. I'm easy in and out,
Just all of them.
pretty much.
I'm going to make an executive decision. I want pictures of your pets, not Spider-Man, of your pets, and we're going to put them up on Instagram so people can see our cool dogs and cats, and that mine's the best.
Sounds good.
So for me, I just have no kids.
Okay,
and I have-
buddy.
Hang on, let Dave go.
You're good. I have no kids, and I have one all-black cat named Tulip.
Oh, precious.
That's
broke
it. None of my
Kirsten.
animals
You
near as
broke
cool as
her.
Tulip.
Yeah, awesome. Well done, Dave. You broke her.
Yeah, I think I heard the mic cap out there.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
All right.
So, David, tell us about yourself. Besides
yeah.
deflecting to the question to us, which I like. I like your attempt.
Good try. Good.
So, yeah, I'm really good at deflecting. So normally, I guess the big thing about me is I travel for work a lot, mostly over the continental United States. Before COVID, it was worldwide. So, yeah, I have a cat that I have some friends that check in on her, but honestly, I'm usually out somewhere. So, I don't know, it leads itself to a very interesting lifestyle of spending more time in hotels than I do in my apartment. But I get to see some really cool stuff and really interesting things, and it's a fun life.
What's your favorite place to go?
Singapore.
I was going to say, what countries have you been to?
All over. So a bunch in Europe, Canada, Japan, China. Hands down, though, Singapore was my favorite place to go. Just because it's an Asian country where the national language is English. So as an American who only speaks English, it's actually a place I can kind of get around and talk to people, and almost everybody can communicate back. So you can really get more of an idea from the locals than if you go to, if you go outside of the city or outside of Shanghai in China, there might not be a lot of people that you can really talk to and get an idea of what life is like for them. But in Singapore, it's super easy. And it's also a really cool place to go because there's a lot of different cultures and a lot of different ethnicities and a lot of different, it's a really, really diverse city. So it's really cool to check out.
Man,
Awesome.
I wish I was well traveled.
Right. I've been to
Yes,
Massachusetts. That count? It's the home of a Tom Brady. No, that's it. I got nothing. I go nowhere.
Kirsty, Dave, thanks for sharing. That's fantastic. All right. Anything else? Questions, comments before we wrap up?
No, I think this is going to be fun. I was saying to myself, John, this is exciting. I'm excited. I'm always excited to play with you guys.
We usually have a pretty darn good time.
Yeah, I'm really pumped. After that one shot that might continue on that we all did, that was very exciting, and I think you guys are going to be a lot of fun to play with.
Cool.
Yeah,
All right.
I guess it's gonna be fine. I guess
It'll be fine.
I guess we'll have a good time. It's whatever.
I suppose these two are fine. Dave and Kirsty, we're gonna have a great time. Just kidding.
Welcome to the club. All right.
Yes.
Well, we talked about the Patreon. Do we want to bring that up again? Reiterate the Patreon, the links, all that, the social media, anything like that, giveaways and events, concepts for for anything that we bring in, the support and whatnot.
Definitely. Again, patreon.com/dorks are dangerous. And I'm not muted. My computer's lying to me. So yeah, patreon.com/dorks are dangerous. Anything that you are willing to donate or if as long as you like our product, we can keep putting out new and better things for you all. And apparently with enough Patreon support, we will get our Owlbear hoodies marketed ASAP.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
if you needed motivation, that BBEG tier will get those Owlbear hoodies.
Also, Kirsty mentioned it before, but we do want your art. Please submit it. We want to post it.
So yeah, and anything that we get support wise, or even if it's just your followings, we absolutely love being able to share what we do. Again, our focus is simply that we play D&D. We love to play D&D, and we're simply here to share our experiences and our good times with all of you. Well, if there are any other group final thoughts, if not,
I got something for us.
Yeah.
Ready?
No.
Hmm.
Fine then. Just kidding. Just remember, dorks are dangerous. Bye!
Bye.
okay, hold on. You too soon. Too
She-
soon. We're
she-
gonna do it again.
You definitely jumped the gun on that one.
I thought we
okay.
were done!
We are. But let me do that. Let me wrap up. All right, here we go. 3, 2. All right then. On behalf of Kaylie, Jonny, not Colette. Duh.
Good job.
I'm gonna try it again.
Good
I wrote
job.
it as I
Well
wrote
done.
it.
I'm not editing any of this out, so this is one take time.
All right,
Audience
fine.
hate us. Our audience is gonna hate us.
Totally.
Nah, it makes
Yeah.
everybody feel like we can all do it.
Right? Totally. On behalf of Kaylie, Jonny, Kirsty, David, and myself, Bruce, thank you all for joining us for this, our Session 0 of Chronicle 2. We appreciate you all and look forward to your joining us on the Dorks Are Dangerous cast for the remaining parts of this new campaign.
Thanks for tuning in. Bye!
Bye.